the words cut deeper than any blade. Around them, some wolves shifted uncomfortably, others smirked, feeding off Adrian's cruelty. Mira bristled at Lily's side, but Lily held her ground, forcing herself not to flinch. "I don't need your approval to train," Lily said, though her voice trembled. Adrian chuckled, the sound dripping with disdain. "That's where you're wrong. You'll always be measured against me, and you'll always fall short." The sting was unbearable. The humiliation, fresh all over again, pressed hot tears behind her eyes. But this time, she refused to let them fall. She turned sharply, tossing the sword aside. "You'll regret this, Adrian," Mira snapped, her voice fierce enough to draw stares. Adrian only laughed. "The only thing I regret is wasting my time on false hope." Lily stormed from the yard, Mira scrambling after her. She didn't stop until they reached the forest's edge, where the trees swallowed the whispers of the pack. There, finally, she let the tears fall. Her knees gave way, and she sank into the grass. "He'll never let me escape it," she whispered. "No matter what I do, he'll always see me as weak. And the pack will believe him because he's Adrian Blackthorn." Mira knelt beside her, gripping her shoulders. "Then stop caring what he thinks. He doesn't define you, Lily. He never did." But Lily shook her head. "You don't understand. He wasn't just my mate. He was proof that I was worth something, that I wasn't broken. And now—" She broke off, pressing her fists against her eyes. "Now I don't even know who I am." Selene stirred faintly, her voice weary. "We can't keep chasing him. It will destroy us." Lily drew in a shuddering breath. "You're right," she whispered, both to Mira and to her wolf. Then, with a fierceness that startled even herself, she lifted her head. "I will never beg him again. Never. If Adrian Blackthorn wants to think I'm weak, let him. I'll prove to myself, to the pack, to everyone that I'm not." Mira's expression softened into pride. That's the Lily I know. The vow solidified in Lily's chest, heavy but steady. She didn't know how she would do it yet, but she would. She would rise. Later that night, she stood before her father in his study. Books lined the shelves, maps and battle plans spread across the desk. Alessandro Rossi looked up from his work, his dark eyes narrowing as he saw the determination etched into his daughter's face. "I want to train," Lily said, her voice steady despite the storm still raging inside her, his brow furrowed. "Lily, I need to be strong," she pressed. "Not for Adrian, not for anyone else, for me. I don't want to be the girl who was rejected. I want to be more." Silence stretched between them. Her father studied her, the weight of an alpha's gaze heavy in the room. Then slowly he nodded. "Marcus Steele will take you on," he said, "but his training is brutal. He will not treat you as my daughter. He will break you before he builds you." "I don't care," Lily said quickly. "I want this." For the first time in days, something flickered in her chest. Something other than despair. Her father leaned back, pride and sorrow warring in his expression. "Very well. Tomorrow you begin." That night, as Lily lay in bed staring at the moonlit ceiling, Selene stirred again. "You made a vow," her wolf murmured, a flicker of strength returning to her voice. "Yes," Lily whispered, her storm-gray eyes hardened. "I will never chase him again. From now on, I'll only chase my own strength." And with that vow, the broken girl who had fled the ceremony began to burn, her pain the kindling of something far greater. Forged in fire, the training yard at dawn was a place of discipline and silence. No laughter, no idle chatter, only the rhythmic clash of weapons, the grunt of effort, the crack of wood against wood. Mist clung to the ground, curling around boots and paws alike, as warriors stretched and shifted, preparing for another day of drills. Lily stood at the edge of the yard, her heart hammering. She wore a simple tunic and leggings, her long chestnut hair braided tightly out of her face. There was no ceremony here, no crowd to witness her humiliation, and yet she felt the weight of invisible eyes all the same. The rejected Alpha's daughter. Too fragile, too weak. "We don't belong here," Selene whispered uneasily, her presence faint but steady. "They'll look at us and see a girl who was cast aside." "We'll make them see more," Lily murmured aloud, squaring her shoulders. The heavy thud of boots drew her attention. Marcus Steele approached, broad as a wall and scarred from countless battles. His dark hair was cropped short, his jaw set in perpetual grimness. A long scar cut across his cheek, pale against tanned skin, a constant reminder of the life he led. He stopped in front of her, crossing his arms. "So, the Alpha's daughter wants to train." His voice was gravel, low and unimpressed. Lily lifted her chin, though her stomach nodded. "Yes." Marcus studied her for a long moment, his gray eyes unreadable. Then he barked, "Drop and give me 50. Her eyes widened. 50 push-ups? Did I stutter? Heat crept up her neck, but she dropped to the ground, palms pressing into the cold dirt. She began to push. By 10, her arms burned. By 20, her breath came ragged. At 30, sweat dripped into her eyes, blurring her vision. Her body screamed at her to stop, but Marcus's voice cut through. "Keep going." Mira's words echoed faintly in her mind. "He thinks you're weak. Fine, let him. But I know better." Gritting her teeth, Lily pushed on. At 42, her arms trembled violently. By 47, her elbows nearly buckled. At 49, she collapsed, her chest hitting the dirt. Marcus crouched beside her, his shadow long over her. "You think that's strength? You think proving yourself means trying until you fall? Wrong. Strength is getting back up after you've already fallen." Her arms shook as she forced herself onto her hands again. One more push, muscles screaming, and then another. 50. She collapsed once more, chest heaving, but this time Marcus's gruff voice carried a note of approval. "Better." The rest of the morning was no kinder. Marcus had her running laps until her lungs burned, sparring until her wrists ached, carrying weighted logs until her shoulders throbbed. Every time she faltered, he barked at her to rise again. "You want to be strong?" he growled as she stumbled under the weight of a log nearly twice her size. "Then learn what it feels like to carry more than you can bear, and do it anyway." Her legs quaked, her arms screaming in protest, but she refused to let the log fall. She thought of Adrian's sneer, of the laughter that had rippled through the crowd as he rejected her. She thought of the whispers, the pity, the humiliation, and she kept walking. By the time Marcus called an end to training, Lily was drenched in sweat, dirt smeared across her arms and face. Every muscle throbbed, but beneath the exhaustion, something stirred in her chest, a spark of pride. Marcus regarded her with narrowed eyes. "You'll hurt tomorrow. You'll wish you hadn't asked for this. But if you come back, I'll train you. If you don't, I won't waste my time." "I'll be here," Lily rasped, her voice hoarse but certain. A ghost of a smirk tugged at Marcus's scarred face. "We'll see." The next morning, pain greeted her before she even opened her eyes. Every muscle screamed in protest, her arms stiff, her legs heavy as stone. Rolling out of bed was agony. Selene groaned in her mind. "We can't move. We're broken." "We're not broken," Lily whispered, forcing herself upright. "We're becoming." She dressed slowly, every motion a battle, and limped down to the training yard. Marcus raised a brow when he saw her approach, but he didn't comment. Instead, he tossed her a wooden staff. "Defend yourself." "What?" she asked, barely catching it. Marcus lunged without warning, his own staff swinging. She yelped, raising hers in a clumsy block. The impact jarred her arms, nearly knocking her to the ground. Too slow, Marcus barked. Another strike came, and another. She stumbled, blocked, missed. Each blow rattled her bones, her arms shaking from the effort. By the time he stepped back, she was panting, her grip slick with sweat. "Pathetic," he said bluntly, but not hopeless. She flushed with shame, but the words "not hopeless" rang louder than the insult. Day after day, the pattern continued. Marcus pushed her past her limits, driving her to exhaustion. She fell, she bled, she bruised, but each time she rose again. Slowly, her body adapted. Muscles hardened, reflexes sharpened, endurance grew. Selene, too, began to stir with new energy. "We're stronger," her wolf whispered one morning as Lily completed a set of drills without faltering. Not just in body, in spirit, and for the first time since the rejection, Lily allowed herself a small, grim smile. Not everyone was impressed. One afternoon, as she staggered out of the yard, bruised and sweat-soaked, Adrian's voice rang across the field. "Still playing warrior, Lily?" She froze. His golden hair gleamed in the sunlight, his posture relaxed but mocking. His friends laughed behind him, eyes glinting with cruel amusement. "Do you really think training will change what you are?" Adrian sneered. "No matter how many bruises you earn, you'll always be the girl I rejected. Everyone knows it." Anger flared hot in her chest, but she bit it back. Meeting his gaze, she spoke evenly. "You'll regret underestimating me." His laughter followed her as she walked away. But instead of breaking her, it fueled her. Every strike she landed in training, every lap she ran, every drop of sweat she shed, she gave it to that fire. She wasn't doing this for him anymore. She was doing it for herself. Weeks turned into months. Her progress was slow but undeniable. Where once she collapsed after a few push-ups, she now finished sets with grit to spare. Where once Marcus knocked her down within seconds, she now lasted minutes, her strikes gaining precision and force. One evening, after a particularly brutal spar, Marcus offered her a rare nod. "You're not just surviving anymore, Rossi, you're fighting." The words lit something inside her. Not victory, not yet, but hope. Later that night, as she soaked her aching body in a hot bath, Mira perched on the edge of the tub, arms crossed. "You're insane," Mira declared, "but you're also kind of terrifying, in a good way." Lily chuckled weakly, steam curling around her. "That's the goal." Mira's green eyes softened. "I just want you to be careful. I know why you're doing this. But you don't have to prove yourself to anyone. Not to Adrian, not to the pack." "I'm not doing it for them anymore," Lily interrupted, her voice quiet but certain. She sank deeper into the water, closing her eyes. "I'm doing it because I refuse to be weak again. I won't be defined by what he did to me." For the first time, Mira didn't argue. She only nodded, a small smile tugging at her lips that night. Selene stirred in Lily's dreams. The wolf stood tall in the moonlit forest, her silver-white fur gleaming, her eyes steady and proud. "We are healing," Selene murmured. To be continued. If you like this video and want more, do like and subscribe. Thank you.